Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Welcome to our live stream on Jaiva Dharma study, chapter 15 today. So it's Wednesday, the 24th of April, 2024, and we're live streaming out of Surabhikunj in Godrundweep. So we'll have a kirtan and then we'll start our reading. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Tana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Oh, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda. Oh, Jaya Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gauda Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gauda. Oh, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Oh Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhavika Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Brishabhanu Nandini Bajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Satchinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astottara Sarasishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Shila Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaurikishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sabhaboma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Varantaracharya Ki Jai Jai Shila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Shila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatata Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada Ki Jai Namacharya Shrilaharas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari, Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Antadvip, Mayapur, Simantadvip, Gauthamdvip, Madhyadvip, Koladvip, Ritudvip, Janadvip, Motamdvip, Rudradvip, Atmakanavadvip, Gam Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna, Gopa Gopi Go, Govardhan, Dwarasavar Marmika, Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kun, Shama Kun, Ganga Jamuna Devi, Bhakti Devi, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Vrinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Srimati Punamasi Devi Yogamaya Maharani Ki Jai. Jai Gopishwa Mahadev Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Ketra Mandal Ki Jai. Sarva Vigna Vinashakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charidam Ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Chari Acharya Ki Jai. Akar Mataraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagat Bhat Vrinda Ki Jai. Gauda Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Shnapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shwapadantikam Priya Surupe Daita Surupe Prema Surupe Sahajabarupe Nijana Rupe Prabhueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swabila Surupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavardhino Kalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarata Tikatam Vasadipita Sadahridare Kandare Swaratu Vasachinandanaha Yam Pravajantamanapetyam Apetykrityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Taravo Vinedustam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munamanatoshmi Bhaktiya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptascha Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanara Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Varadram Tato Mamanasti Katyana Kapi Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Asto Tarzarashishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Asto Tarzarashishimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. And again, I'm offering my Dandavat pranams unto our dearmost Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gauda Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Vrayate, and all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So welcome all to another session of Jaiva Dharma immersion. It's very thick, very beautiful, where this Jaiva Dharma can take us to in its purified infusion. So we're into the last 4 verses on page 831, the Falshruti. Jaiva Dhamma Pateshe Shuddha Bhakti Hoy, Jaiva Dhamma Napadile Kabe Bhakti Noy. One who reads Jivadhamma with faithful deliberation will surely attain Shuddha Bhakti, but one who does not read Jivadhamma can never attain Bhakti. This is indicating because Jivadhamma is so packed with all the Shastra. So if we don't study the Shastra, how will we set our compass? How will we have our course fixed on what is Shuddha Bhakti? We have to be sure of this path because the mind is a rascal sometimes. It's very much wandering here and there, being attracted and illusioned
by this very powerful illusory energy that we're discussing in our chapter 15. So the only recourse we have is to closely hold on to the precepts and teachings of Shastra. And all of these are contained in Jaiva Dharma. So if we don't study Jaiva Dharma, what hope will we have to attain pure devotion to the Supreme Lord, to come out of this illusory mental condition that we're in, that we've been in for many lifetimes?
Arupanuga Abhiman Patedrita Hoy Jaivadama Vimukake Dharma Hinekoi.
Faithfully reading Jaiva Dhamma will surely strengthen one's abhiman as a Rupanuga, follower of Sri Rupa Goswami. One who is averse to reading Jaiva Dhamma is certainly devoid of religious principles. So we've discussed many times the principle of Srila Rupa Goswami. He is the main um, contributor. He's at the head of our Guru Vargya. And he had the capacity to, because he's Srimati Radhika's most faithful Manjari, Sri Rupa Manjari, he has the capacity to understand the very esoteric nature of Mahaprabhu's advent. Mahaprabhu has advented only to taste prem, to taste this unnata ujvala ras. Prem ras niryase korite asvadan. This is why he's manifested. This is his primary reason. Secondary and other reasons are there, but his primary reason is to taste the prem of Srimati Radhika, which is higher than his prem. Radhika loves Krishna more than Krishna loves Radhika. And because of the immensity of Sri Radhika's love, Krishna is attracted tremendously to that love. But it is Radhika's all enveloping love, this Shakti of Sri Radhika, that is attracting Krishna. So her bliss, her taste, is higher than Krishna's taste. She, in the Ras Leela, we've spoken many times, Krishna is in a state called Mahabhav, but Radhika is in a state higher. There's Ruda and Adi Ruda, which are higher even than Mahabhav. So Mahaprabhu has come to taste these higher sweetness and specialities that Radhika is experiencing. And who knows these specialities more than the closest maidservants of Sri Radhika? Mahaprabhu, in fact, has come to bestow upon the jivas this Manjari Bhav, this Swabhakti Shriyam. He's come to taste himself this Unnata Ujvala Ras, this brilliantly shining topmost bliss that Sri Radhika experiences. And he's come to bestow upon the jivas service to this mood in the form of Manjari Bhav. So Rupa Goswami is that chief Manjari, and Sri Radhika is empowering our whole Guru Vargya through the potency of Rupa Goswami, who was empowered in Prayag by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly to bestow upon the jivas, particularly in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and his Ujvala Nilamani, and also these two remarkable descriptions of Braj and Dwarka, this Vidagdha Madhav and Lalita Madhav. So this Jaiva Dharma is going to open out all the teachings of Rupa Goswami. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, Kamala Manjari, he is able, because of his service to Sri Radhika, fully capture the essence and mood of Rupa Goswami. And he's putting them into this Jaiva Dharma for us to taste and relish and even experience by practice. So this is the magnificence of this Jaiva Dharma. And this will strengthen our identity as a Rupa Nuga, a follower of Sri Rupa Goswami. There are the Rupa Nugas and the Raga Nugas. A Raga Nuga is following the path of Rag Marg, not necessarily under the direction of Rupa Goswami. For example, we have um, Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar. They are not Rupanugas, but they are Raganugas. So we are Raganugas and Rupanugas, following the wake, the path of the Rag Atmikas. The Rag Atmikas, their Atma is soaked in Rag. So we are following those liberated Nityasiddha parikas of Krishna and Radhika in the spiritual world, Lalita, Vishaka, etc. These are the Rag Atmikas. So we are following them. And we are also following Rupa Goswami, and we are following the path of Rag Marg. So if we don't understand this path or this nature, then Jaiva Dharma is going to take us through completely to understanding every facet of this path very clearly. So this is what Jaiva Dharma will bestow upon its faithful reader. Faithful, having faith, having strong shraddha. Strong shraddha initially in the personality from whose heart this Jaiva Dharma has manifested. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And how can one not have faith in Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who has contributed such a wealth of books and um, understandings, poetry in the world for us? He's given the entire blueprint of our path to Goloka Vrindavan, Gokul. So he is following diligently Rupa Goswami, and he will carry us with him. Yavajivane jay pade jaiva dharma, bhakti manse jana brita jnana karma. One who faithfully reads Jaiva Dharma throughout his entire life will be endowed with bhakti and will surely realize the futility of gyan and karma. I was speaking to a devotee yesterday, and he was saying how many times he'd read the Jaiva Dharma, but each time also he feels it's newer and ever fresh. And I was sharing the same experience. So therefore, to read for our entire life is not going to be a tedious experience, just reading repetitively over and over again. Every single sentence we read, we will be carried into a newer and fresher awareness. That's the nature of transcendental literature. It's not static, it's completely ecstatic. This is the nature of transcendental literature. It'll carry us through. Krishna Ramala Seva Labi Senara Seva Sukhe Magnaraha Sada Krishna Para. Such a man, being fully devoted to Sri Sri Radha Krishna, Yugal Kishore, and having attained their Amal Prem Seva, remains forever merged in the bliss of such immaculate, loving service. So this is the prayojan, this is the goal, this will be the fruit, the full fruit, the falshruti of our immersion in Jaiva Dharma. That one who has become fully devoted through hearing the pastimes, through hearing the leelas, through hearing the supportive tattvas and siddhantas, to rest the leelas on confidently. If we just hear the leela by itself without the siddhanta and tattva, we don't have the platform, we don't have the strength of the platform to hold the specialities that those leelas can reveal. It'll just be an experience of a moment, but it won't be sustained. But it will be very easily sustained if we understand the tattva and siddhanta. So both must be there. The priority is the lila. The lila, like we've said before, is the rider on the horse, and the tattva is the horse itself. So the lila, the pastimes, are the most important. When we remember the pastimes, we completely become transported into that spiritual world of Vrindavan, fully. When we read the 10th canto, when we read the early chapters of Krishna's Balya Lila, then his Pauganda Lila, and then the 5 Geets in the Bhagavatam, the Venu Geet, Pranaya Geet, Gopi Geet, Yugal Geet, Brahmara Geet, when we immerse ourselves in these um, topics, in these thoughts, in this smarnam, remembrance of these pastimes and leelas, then we are essentially in that spiritual realm according to our qualification at the time. And our qualification will be evolving day by day by day by day, according to the amount of chesta, the amount of effort I'm able to actually put in to my practice. Chesta means endeavor. There's chesta and kripa. We put in our endeavor, and the the mercy will be reciprocated by us. Krishna will pour his mercy down according to our efforts. So the sadhak wants to be very diligently following his um, path of sadhan bhajan, focused on bhav bhakti. And the principle of bhav bhakti that is given by Rupa Goswami. We have Kriti, what is it? Klesh Agni Shubhada. This is the description of sadhan bhajan. All the kleshas, all the sufferings are incinerated. Shubhada, it's very auspicious for the jiva. And then the qualities of bhav bhakti, moksha, lukhutakrit, that we have no interest whatsoever in liberation, this path of mukti or moksha, none whatsoever. We look, in English we say disdain, we look with irreverence on this path of mukti and moksha. We only want the path of devotion. This path of mukti is very attractive when you're bound, when you're being pinched by the um, uh, spears of Maya Devi. We just want to be freed from Maya Devi. That's the impetus for liberation and moksha. But there's something so much more significant, and that's devotion. If devotion is understood and perceived by the sadhak, then the endeavor to attain that place of devotion, pure love, pure bhakti, shuddha bhakti, which means pure service to the Supreme Lord, to Sri Radhika, to all the parikas of Vrindavan. This is our fixed goal. So, coming back to our chapter here, chapter 15, and we've been discussing this tatashta svabhav. And I was asked a very nice question that we, in this tatashta svabhav, I explained, was not a geographical region or location. It's a state of consciousness. And prior to manifesting in that state of consciousness, we are in the Brahmajyoti. This is where the jivas are manifested from. And there's a very beautiful essay that I've posted on our WhatsApp thread that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he describes the nature of the jiva in that Brahman condition of complete shantaras. This is the word that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati uses. That means we have no anxiety, no lamentation, no desires, nothing at all, just completely blank. That's our condition in the Brahman. And we stay there. That's an eternal realm. It's an eternal, the Brahmajyoti is an eternal place. So we are eternal spirit souls. So we're manifested from an eternal place. And the eternal place is the Brahmajyoti. That's where we're manifested. We are eternal. We have no beginning. There is no end to the jiva. But then there's a point in time when the jiva has the desire to love, and it rises in the heart, or it rises in the consciousness. It comes into the consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is describing this in this essay. It's entitled Before We Acquire Material Designation. Material designation means the body, or if it's, you could change it to spiritual designation, before we actually get a spiritual body. Then from this realm, because we've described before, there are three types of jivas. There's those jivas who are manifested to serve Radha Binod Bihari in Gokul or Goloka, Vrindavan. Specifically, they're manifested with the adhikar. to serve Krishna directly, Nitya Siddha Parikas. And then there are those jivas who have the adhikar to serve Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha. They're manifested directly for that. They have that desire to serve Lord Narayan. That is their staibhav. That is their fixed mood of worship. And then there are the third types of jivas who are manifesting in this Tatashta region, in this Tatashta consciousness, or with this Tatastha consciousness, rather. They're manifesting in the Brahmajyoti, and this consciousness is there when the desire rises to love or to enjoy, we can say. And most of the souls in that condition will be attracted to the spiritual reality of service to the Supreme. But those wayward souls who will also see the workings of Maya, the illusory energy, on one side, and they will be attracted to that. And the attraction is that they can be like God and exploit that energy. That's the attraction. Ultimately, that is called Mayavad. They can become like God or in the illusion that they are God because they're trying to enjoy matter. So we made that choice. And I've described previously that we are making that same choice. It wasn't a historical choice. We're making that same choice daily, probably 1,000 times. The mind works very fast in its decision making. It oscillates between these two options to engage in spiritual activity according to the spiritual culture, according to the etiquette, according to the Mariad, according to the principles of devotional life, or to go my own speculative way and try and exploit this material energy. And it's very subtle. So we're caught in this tight condition of this tatashta. That's our makeup, that's our consciousness. We're caught there. So by gradually hearing more and more about the spiritual reality, then the more and more the sensitive soul will become inclined to walk in the direction of service to Brajendranandan Shyam Sundar. More and more, daily. So that's like the equation, so to speak. So now I put that essay, which to me is very much like a link um, between to understand the nature of Tatashta, because he's describing Tatashta in that essay. I would encourage you all to look at it. It's only a short essay. It's a brief excerpt from the book. I'll send you the details where it's from. So the last thing we said was that the jiva has no scent of Maya within its existence, no scent of Maya within its essential constitutional nature. There's not even a smell of Maya because that's of an inferior nature. And my nature is actually superior. That's why it's called Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva, because sometimes I'm in that superior state of consciousness, and sometimes I submit to the inferior state of consciousness. So I oscillate like this. So it's very disturbing, especially in Kali Yuga, where the whole atmosphere is already disturbed. Food, pollution, sound vibration, people out of control. The whole atmosphere is completely disturbed. What to speak of this disturbing condition? But remarkably, by the potency of Sachinandan's mercy in gifting us the holy name, it gives us the power to actually overcome this illusory energy. And particularly when we're in the presence of Mahabhagavats, Uttam Bhagavats, who have recognized and realized this absolute reality. They have the potency to transform the consciousness of the jiva, to attract the jiva forever to the other side, so to speak, of the Vaitarani river, the other side into the spiritual realm. They have that potency. So we take shelter of these Mahabhagavats, Either these Mahabhagavats are walking amongst us, or these Mahabhagavats in the form of our Guru Varga are there. In our Guru Varga, we take shelter diligently of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for example, of Rupa Goswami, we've just been speaking, of Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, all of these exalted personalities. We make this our family. This is our unit. And they will, by their support, daily we should be offering prayers to all of these personalities. We've described many times. First thing my Gurudev describes as soon as we rise in the morning, first thing we do is offer prayers to all our Guru Varga to connect us to the current of Srimati Radhika's mercy ultimately, coming through the medium of Sachinandan Gaurahari, because it's her mercy that we are receiving. Okay, so we don't have a scent of Maya in our nature. So now Brajanath is going to present some Mayavad conceptions. Brajanath, I have heard from my teacher that when a fraction of the conscious Brahm is covered by Maya, by the way, Prabhu, you can correct me if there's any word that I say that is different in your edition. I'm curious to see how it's been changed or what the editors have done. I have heard from my teacher that when a fraction of the conscious Brahm is covered by Maya, it becomes the Jiva. He explained the sky to be always the indivisible Maha Akash. Maha Akash means the great um, uh, unknown, practically, the great sky, the greater sky. But when a part of it is enclosed in a pot, it becomes Gatana Akash. If we have a pot and the sky is reflected in the water that is contained within a pot, then it's as if the sky has been contained within the pot itself. This is the example they use in Nyaya. So it's called Gatana Akash, the sky in the pot. And then there's the great sky outside. So he's making this analogy between the sky and the localized sky in the reflection of a pot. This is the analogy that he's making. If I was originally that Brahm, that would mean like I was originally Krishna, but I've been covered by Maya. That's what the proposition is. That I was God, but I become covered by Maya, and until I get uncovered by Maya, I can't regain my godlike position. Horrible. So horrible. Where is love in that equation? I met a Mayavad once in Rishikesh, and he was sitting in front of all his disciples explaining exactly this. And he had some matchsticks, and he was demonstrating it like in a diagram with matchsticks. And I listened to him for about 20 minutes. And at the end of his presentation, I said, just tell me, where is love in this connection? And he could not answer. And then his disciples all became agitated. They also wanted to know. And in the end, I just left and he was frustrated. But that single ideal of affection, love has to have two. It can't be singular. This conception of the Mayavad is singular. It's saying just I am that God. But where is any relationship if there's only the singular? There must be two. The verb, love is a verb, to love. There must be an object of affection. Otherwise, it's rubbish. So this doctrine is only Mayavad. How can Maya touch Brahm? So how can the illusory energy touch Krishna? Brahm in this context means Krishna. Brahm means Krishna. It doesn't necessarily, it means the Brahmajyoti also, it means everything conceivable. Brahm. That's why Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he used the word, what is it? He says Brahmajyoti and Brahm, the Brahman, right, thank you. The Brahman. He termed it the Brahman so that Westerners would find it easier to differentiate. But the original language is Brahm. Brahm means the same as Brahman. It means the complete whole, which is Krishna. It means everything. Paramatma
Brahman and Bhagavan, all three. How can Maya touch Brahm? The Mayavadis propose that Brahm has no Shakti.
No potency.
Huh?
No, Brahma has no potency. Yeah.
Oh, that's changed then. So in my book, it's saying Brahma has no Shakti. So Shakti, probably potency is a more simple word, but Shakti is actually the correct word. We've become familiar with the concept of Shakti. So Shakti here, rather difference. So has no Shakti. So you have Lupta Shakti in brackets after potency, right?
Then it just continues.
Okay.
Potency is supposed
Okay.
to non
So
exist.
line edition, by the way, for anyone who's listening. So the 2019 edition has changed somewhat. Has no Shakti, Lupta Shakti. So how can, which is a Shakti, possibly approach Brahm? If Shakti is supposed to be non-existent, the Mayavads propose that Shakti is not, that only they exist, that there is no. The conclusion is that Maya cannot possibly cover and cause such a miserable condition. Conversely, if we accept transcendental Shakti, Parashakti, of Brahm, how can Maya, which is an insignificant Shakti, defeat the Chit Shakti and create from Brahm? How can this insignificant Shakti of Maya affect something coming from the Chit Shakti? It can't. Brahm is indivisible. So how can such a Brahm be divided? The idea that Maya can act upon is not acceptable. Have support. It doesn't ultimately make sense. Maya plays no role in the of the jivas. Maya is there to attract the jivas away from the this is all going to be described in the 16th chapter most clearly. But we should understand Maya has a purpose. There's two types of Maya. Yoga Maya will attract us to Krishna, will support our journey to Krishna, and Mahamaya will fulfill our desire to try to material energy. That is Mahamaya, Durga Ma. She will give us that. Maya plays no role in the creation. The jiva is only atomic. Yes, we understand. When it says atomic, it means very small, very weak, basically, very tiny. It is still superior as a tattva to Maya. Even though we are atomic, it is still superior. Even though we're very small, it's still superior ultimately. Brajanath. Once another teacher said that the nothing but a reflection of Brahm. The sun is reflected in, and similarly Brahm becomes Jiva when it is reflected in. Is this conception correct? So he's saying that God, speak, becomes reflected into the Mayic, and that reflection is the jiva. He's a reflect. In other words, he's still God. That's why it's Mayavad. You understand? Because he's saying all the time, it's saying that actually the jiva is Brahma originally. It's become reflected. So this is what is Mayavad. The Mayavad wants to usurp Krishna's position. We spoke yesterday about the envy that the jiva feels towards Krishna. It's that enviousness because we want to be like God, and that will only cause us unlimited suffering as long as we have that conception. Again, this is simply another example of Mayavad philosophy. Brahm has is opposed to the conclusions of the Vedas. So this theory of reflection is to be rejected. In platform of tattva and siddhanta, we can be misled by a speculative mind because our minds are filled with material desires,
and it'll try and twist, etc., the absolute propose to cheat, face the reality of their total insignificance. This is ultimately why, because the false ego becomes very proud of its various potencies, reputation, life, etc. So they don't want to confess and admit their atomic size. We've said many times this quote of Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj: the reason that we have a false ego is to shield us from the total insignificance. That's why we have a false ego, because we are so tiny in one sense, but it's achintya beta abheda. We are so glorious in another sense. So it's the two simultaneous. It is tatashta swabhav. It's the two sides. It can be confusing, right? This is the illusory energy. Yes, she's very subtle and she's very powerful if we allow her to be. If we are operating from the absolute Siddhantic direction, then we will be controlled by this. Brajanath, a Digvijay once told me that in reality there is no substance known, only thinks of himself as a jiva because of illusion. And when the illusion is removed, there is only one indivisible. Is correct or not? You see, we must appreciate that previous to Nangora Hari's um, advent, Madhvacharya, Nimbaditya, and Balabhacharya, the four Sampradaya, there was Advaita Vad. There is this oneness that has been propagated after Lord Buddha advented. This is the historic root where this Mayavad has come from. It's come originally from the manifestation of Lord Buddha, and then from him has manifested Sankaracharya to bring the Vedic teachings back into India. So Lord Buddha had to use this philosophy. Is why he came. So it has an origin. This Mayavad has an origin to it. And the origin was in the teachings originally that, yes, we are God. But actually, the origins go way back into antiquity. Was that we wanted to enjoy the material energy. And this Advaitavad philosophy was a good philosophy. Oneness. Advaita means one, not two. Yes, one. So he only thinks of himself as a jiva, and when the illusion is removed, there is only one indivisible Brahm. Babaji, this is also Mayavad doctrine that has no data at all. According to Shastra, Ekam Eva Dityam, Eva Dvitiyam. There is nothing apart from Brahm, nothing except Brahm. Where has the illusion come from? You see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is cutting with such resolute logic. There's nothing but Brahm, then where has illusion come from? And who is supposed to be illusioned? If there's only one, how come these two things have manifested? The illusion and the person who's in illusion. These are two. And yet there's only supposed to be one Brahm. So already he's off, logically. And who is supposed to be in illusion? If you say that Brahm is in illusion, you're saying that Brahm is not actually Brahm. That God, Krishna, is not actually God because he's in illusion. Rather, it is insignificant. And if you propose that illusion is a separate and independent element, you negate the undivided oneness, Advaya Gyan, of Brahm. This for our meditation, and because we will meet individuals with either this gross concept or just be acting out on the Mayavad platform, not even understanding what they're actually doing, but out and out atheists, so to speak, who just want to. Isn't this what most of the world is? Most of the world is acting under this illusion of
desperately trying from this material energy for their pleasure. So this is all being purified. Once an influential Brahma Pandit arrived in and in a conference of intellectuals, he established that only the jiva exists. His theory was, and it is because of this that he enjoys happiness and suffers distress. Then, when the dream breaks, he sees that he is nothing but Brahm, nothing but God, Krishna. To what extent is this idea correct? This is again Mayavad. If, as they say, Brahm is undifferentiated, how can it possibly produce the jiva state? Understand? If Brahm is without variety, how can it produce the jiva and the dream? Again, it's got nothing. um, how can it possibly produce the wait, um, his theory was that the jiva creates everything in his dream. Sorry, I got distracted. I'll just start here. His theory was that everything in his dreams, and it is because of this that he enjoys happiness. Then when he is not, he is okay. This is again Mayavadi. If, as they say, Brahm is undifferentiated, how can it possibly produce and his dreaming state? Mayavadis use examples such as a shell of as God and the illusion of taking a rope to be a snake, but therefore not provide a consistent basis for Advaya Gyan. Advaya Gyan. Advaya, one tattva, which represents Krishna, wholeness. And within that one tattva, there is the energy, which we've already discussed in chapter 14, which manifests all the different ones. So there's like two. There's the um, origin of Krishna, Shakti. This makes two. Therefore, the experience of love can exist. Philosophy is built between the um, appreciating the affection between Radha and Krishna. This says two. It's not one. It's not Dvaita. Or rather, Dvaita is two. It's Advaita. It's one because this is part of the same Advaya. In that oneness, there is Shakti. That's the oneness. We've already studied this in chapter 14. Brajanath. So Maya has nothing whatever to do with creating the Swarup of the Jivas. This has to be accepted. Okay, this was the statement we did at the very beginning today, that Maya is nowhere in the constitution of the pure Jiva. So Brajanath has made these proposals, 4 different proposals, various groups try to substantiate that actually Maya is within that Chit Shakti. All these 4 propositions, but they've executed clearly, very simply by Babaji, not difficult. So has nothing whatever to do with creating the Swarup of the Jivas. This has to be accepted. So now Brajanath understands this fully and is happy with it. At the same time, I have also understood that the Jiva is by nature subject to the influence of Maya. Now I want to know, did the Chit Shakti create the Jivas and give them their Tatashta Svabhav, marginal nature? So is it the Chit Shakti that's creating Jivas and has given them this Shakti? Is it coming from Chit Shakti? Is it coming from the pure source? Let's hear what Babaji says. No. Again, he says no. The Chit Shakti is Paripurna Shakti, the complete potency of Krishna. The Chit Shakti is everything. Pari Purna. Purna means full. Pari, the complete potency of Krishna, is the Chit Shakti, and its manifestations are all eternal substances. Everything coming from the Chit Shakti is totally. Oh, interesting. So it's saying in some editions that perfect, here it's saying substances. This is a better word, actually. That is more clearer. Eternally perfect entities who are nityas. They are, nityasiddha means perfect entity. That's a good change. The jiva is not nityasiddha, although when he performs sadhan, he can become sadhana siddha. Nityasiddha means eternally liberated. And when he performs sadhan, the strength of his sadhan, he can become liberated. But that doesn't make him a nityasiddha. He wasn't born in that condition. He's performed his sadhan to achieve that condition, to be, to receive the mercy, to experience that condition. Because our path is avaroha always the success of that effort or not. Um, uh, he performs. He can become sadhana siddha and in mental happiness, like the nitya siddhas, eternally perfect. We can become like the nitya siddhas. All the four types of Srimati Radhika's sakis are nitya. What are the four types of her sakis? The swapaksh, vipaksh, and surit. These are the four types of Radharani's sakis. And they are direct expansions, kaya vyuha, direct expansions from Radhika's, the Chit Shakti. This is all manifesting from the Chit Shakti. Radhika herself, they, they are direct expansions, kaya vyuha, of the Chit Shakti, Shrimati Radhika. They're all manifesting directly from Radhika. All the jivas, on the other hand, have manifested from Sri Krishna's Jiva Shakti. This is a separate, we are not Kaya Vyuha of Radhika. We are manifesting from the Jiva Shakti. This is what it's saying here clearly. We're manifesting from Krishna's Jiva Shakti, which ultimately is his Swarup Shakti, is manifesting from the Swarup. But we're not manifesting like the Nitya Siddha Parikas. We are in a different category. We're conditioned. The Chit Shakti is Sri Krishna's complete Shakti, whereas the Jiva Shakti is his incomplete Shakti. Just as the complete tattvas are all manifestations of the complete potency, similarly, innumerable atomic conscious jivas are transformations of the incomplete Shakti. Yes, we're incomplete because we're in the process with this opportunity to perform sadhan bhakti. So become sadhana siddha. We're not nitya siddha, but we have the opportunity to become sadhana siddha because my essential nature is chit, nothing to do with maya. So I have the opportunity to become a sadhana siddha by Krishna's mercy. So all the jivas, they're all transformations of this incomplete Shakti. It's incomplete because it has this tatashta aspect to it. It's not one of those two jivas that I said at the beginning that are manifest in Goloka Vrindavan or in Vaikuntha. Those two types of jivas are eternally liberated. The jivas that we're talking about are not eternally liberated. Sri Krishna, being established in each of his Shaktis, manifests his Swarup according to the nature of that Shakti. When he is situated in his Chit Swarup, he manifests his Swarup as Sri Krishna and also as Narayan. We're talking about Krishna here, when he manifests, the Lord of Paravyam. When he is situated in the Jiva Shakti,
he manifests his Swarup as the Vilas Murti of Braj, who is Baladev. Baladev is that person who is manifesting all the different jivas and being established in the Maya Shakti. He manifests the three Vishnu forms, Karanadakshay, Shirodakshay, and Garbhadakshay. I think we'll stop here because we're actually a bit over our time, and what we're reading now needs to be gone very carefully and slowly through. It's a wonderful portion here where we need to fully immerse ourselves. So tomorrow we'll come back to this very portion and get into the thick of it. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Haribol. Gaura Premanande, Shila Gurudev Ki Jai, Shila Bhakti Ki Jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.